Wow, that's so embarrassing. I think I was talking to myself the entire time. So thank you so much, Nitish or Nightish. Well, thank you. I was talking to myself for the past, I don't know, maybe half an hour. Thank you. I was recording some footage before, so I probably muted my mic in OBS, so you couldn't hear me. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so now that we have the general shape, if we ignore this ugly uh, parts from the bottom, I don't know. I feel like this should be becoming um, narrower as we go forward. So let's look at some references. And maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't seem to be becoming more narrow. Yeah, it seems to stay at the same width for the entire sloping down. Okay, so let's for now at least leave it like this and see what happens. It is a little blocky. So let's go just for a second to wireframe mode. Take all of these slightly down, and we can take all of this and take it up. And let's again look in solid view. Okay, that's workable. We can work with this. Okay, so let's look what elements we still need to do. Let's hide everything. So we need to do the wings. The wings to me seems to be just duplicates. So I'm pretty sure that if I'll just make one wing and I'm going to mirror along both the X and the Z, I'll probably have a perfect X-wing. And so we need to make one wing. Yeah. And we need to make this nose, this very iconic X-wing nose. So these are the two things I want to make, and probably I want to make some R2 unit at the top also. And after we'll finish, we'll add all the edge loops. We need to color everything in nice colors. Okay, so I think I'll start with the nose. It seems like an easier job, and I'm going to obviously start with whatever is more easy because it's late and we are going to always choose the easier path in these hours. So let's do it. So is this going to also be a cube? I think so. Let's look at the reference. Yes, probably yes. Or maybe I can do a quad. Let's look at it from the front. No, I'm going to start with a cube. So let's edit. Let's add the cube. Let's do edit mode. Let's add an edge loop. Right click, go to wireframe, select these vertices, delete them, select the cube, add the mirror modifier. And now go to front view, scale everything. And I forgot to enable clipping. And now I'm going to put it, maybe scale some more, put it exactly on the nose here. And now let's start adding some details. So this should go up, another edge loop here. And this can now go inside. Add another edge loop here. So you think cone shape? Yeah, maybe I should have really go with a cone shape because it becomes narrow. But I didn't. I wasn't sure I was able to create this uh, um, too. You see, it's not ending in a point. It's ending in a line. So I wanted something maybe wider. But in a minute we'll see if if it was a mistake or not. Okay, so let's take this to the side. This can go down and outside. Okay, so we have the basic shape here. Let's go to the side. And this should be in the biggest part. So let's move it there. And let's enable the body for a second so we can see that where it should sit. So it'll take it up. We take all of these, maybe not all, but this for sure should go to be slightly up. This will go down, and probably also this edge loop, I'm going to slide it down a little bit. I'm going to add another one here just to create this sloping, and this I'm going to take back and maybe up. Okay, so this seems like a decent start. Now let's just follow the usual extrude, scale, and I'm going to just scale on the Z. And again, extrude, scale Z, and maybe move a little bit. And now again, extrude, and I'm going to now scale on the Z0 and move down. Is this for my dogfight game? Yeah, I was starting to get bored with creating planes and showing the exact same scene, and I think probably you guys also. So I wanted to create a different showcase scene, and I think some space shooting lasers might be more interesting. So I need some spaceships to populate this new scene. Okay, so now we'll first of all, we can see that we have this weird too wide of nose. We'll fix this in a second. First of all, I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to press M, and I'm going to merge by distance all the duplicates. So we have these three vertices that we had duplicates of. And now I can go to top view, and I can fix the width. So let's hide the body. Let's just look at this. So this needs to be wider. So scale on the X. This also needs to be slightly wider. And we'll need to find a way to create this nose. Oh, maybe it already looks like this. Okay, that's let's see in a second. We'll see in a second. This also needs to be wider. Sorry, narrower. This also. Okay, so we'll move it. And this, just this one. Great. And now we're going to scale on the X. And I feel, yeah, I could probably do 0 and G on the X, and we get the shape. And let's just see that we still have the topology here. Seems about right. Let's look at it from the top again and from the front. For some reason I still see this duck peak looking game thing, so I might need to change it, but let's go to solid view just for a second, and let's enable the body. And this looks horrible, so let's see how we can fix it. So we need to take this, I think, outside. Okay, so not only this, let's go back to wireframe mode. So which parts are handling this edge? So this also, and this also. Yes. Okay, so let's go to solid view, and let's move on the X slightly. And now let's go to wireframe again and take only this one, and again move it on the X. So this maybe looks slightly better. I think it's too much above the body itself. So I might need to fix this. Let's look at it from the distance we're going to be viewing it in the game itself. Let's add the canopy. So the good thing about low poly games where you view your models from so far away is that you can get away with having literally zero artistic skill. So at least I have this going for me, which I think goes to show how important it is to pick um, the correct art style for your game. If you are uh, if you can't create beautiful models, then you can create simple models, which doesn't need to look that beautiful. Okay, so let's run some very small changes because we have the blueprint, and usually if you follow the blueprint, at least to a certain degree, you can't go wrong. So I don't want to create too much variation from the blueprint. Okay, that's not good at all, but that's good enough. Okay, so we have the canopy, we have the nose, we have the body itself. Now we need to create the wing. So let's do it. And I'm going to hide everything. I'm going to give the nose an appropriate name. And this is the canopy, so let's call it canopy. Great. And now I'm going to start working on the wing itself. So let's add and make sure we are in object mode. We're going to add a new mesh. It's going to be a cube. We're going to scale it down. We're going to add a mirror modifier, but this time without doing any edge loops or anything. We just want four of the same object. So let's add a mirror modifier without clipping, and we want to mirror both on the X and the Z. So for that reason, I might want to have the nose of my plane be exactly on the origin. So let's do that right now. Or do I? No, I think I can, I'm pretty sure I can just do this. Let's move on the Y slightly up. Sorry, on the Z slightly up to the center. And now when I go to object mode, to edit mode, and move it, sorry, enable Z again. And now I'm going to get this 4 cubes, which is exactly what I want. I can now create the 4 wings. So let's start working on this. Let's rotate Y. Excellent. Let's maybe hide the rest of the model so it wouldn't get in our way. So we want the wing, and we'll probably add the engine and whatever this is as a different object. So let's do it right now. Go to wireframe, select this, move it to the correct location, select this, scale X, sorry, scale Z, and I forgot where is the, yeah, this is it, local coordinates. So let's scale Z, no, long normal, scale Z, yep, that's Good. Let's take this, scale it down, take this, move it to the edge of the wing, rotate and scale. And rotate. And we have the basic shape of our wing. This is going to be the phaser. We're going to create it from the side view. This is going to be the engine. We are going to create it also in just a second. So now let's select everything, move it to the back, and let's go to global again. Great. Now scale Y. Add an edge loop. Add another edge loop. Let's go to solid view just for a second and look at everything together. Okay, so this is starting to look like an X-wing. Obviously, we have wings in the shape of an X, so hopefully, if this wasn't starting to look like an X-wing, we will be in trouble. And I think if we now really just add this, the engines, the phasers, an R2 unit here, and this very red color scheme. So this is something that is very easy to add in the workflow I'm using. So I think we can have at least a decent looking model. I don't think it will be my best one, not by a long shot, because it's really different from the rest of the models I did up until now. But I think we can for sure learn a lot from this one. Okay, so let's continue and let's try and add this engines. Let's go to front view and let's select our wing and let's hide everything again. And so this, let's again, I want just the reference just for a second. I'm wondering if all the engines have this back part. So let's search for some more images. So let's do X-wing from the back. So it does seem like all of them have this exhaust pipe, which is good. Oh, this is a great image for us. Okay, so it seems like we have this placeholder, or I don't know how to call it, that the engine sits on, and we have the engine which is just a cylinder which became narrower, and then we get this the same as a jet engine exhaust pipe or back burner. So this is a pretty easy thing to model, so let's do it. Let's start with the engine itself. So I'm going to go to edit mode, shift A. I'm going to add a cylinder. I'm going to decrease the number of vertex to something like 8. I'm going to rotate X90. I'm going to scale it by a lot, and I'm going to move it. to where the engine is. And I think we need to rotate Y slightly. Yes. So it would be aligned with the wing itself. Let's go to wireframe mode and scale it again. Now, this looks okay. I'm guessing this is the back burner. Great, so let's go to top view. Let's move this to the correct location. And now let's move it again. Scale it. Take the back part, extrude. Maybe no. Maybe just move it back. And now extrude. Let's go here. I'm gonna inset. And then I'm going to maybe inset some more scale. And now extrude, scale, extrude, scale, extrude, extrude, right click so it would stay at the same location, scale it again, extrude, extrude, right click, scale, extrude, and then we're going to inset. And now I'm going to try and do something a little bit more fancy. So I'm going to take let's manually select them. Let's go to solid view, it will be easier. Take all of these and I'm going to press Alt E, extrude along normals. Now I can take this, take them out, and then I can go to individual origins and I can do scale, and we get this jet looking effect. Now select all, merge by distance just to make sure we didn't add any vertex. Multis, so I have the following method. I can show you. Let's hide everything just for a second, and I'm going to, in no particular collection, just add some wing, or maybe even let's do something even more fancy. So let's add an image. And I'm going to take the P51 blueprint from yesterday, and I'm going to go to top view, and I'm going to hide the current reference just so we'll have something to work with. And I don't know why this is so stretched. Let's see. Oh, great. So if I want to create this, yes, Nietzsche, Nitish. So let's take it, let's rotate on the Z, and I'm going to press Control to make it in 15 angle jumps. And let's say I want to create this wing here. So what I like to do, I like to add a cube, and I'm going to scale it. I'm going to go to edit mode, add this edge loop, wireframe, and this is pretty straightforward. Delete the vertices, select the object, and add the mirror modifier. And now I don't want to create the shape itself. Okay, so the shape of the wing is like a teardrop. So we want something that is slightly wider here, and going to become never at both of the edges. So what I do is go to edit mode. I'm going to take this almost to the edge and scale it. Okay, so you see it doesn't reach the edge. And I'm going to do the same thing here and here. So we have just the inner part of the wing. I'm going to add another edge loop in the center and take it slightly to the front of the wing. And then I can add, let's scale everything on the Z just to make it have an appropriate dimension for wings. And sometimes wings are also, going slightly up because it helps with the drag. And I'm going to add another edge loop here in the center. And now what I can do is I can choose, press 2 to choose edges. I'm going to hide the reference for a second. I can select this edge and I can move it up and select the other one and move it down. And from the side you see we get this teardrop shape. And I can select this edge and move it forward and select this one and also move it forward, backward, sorry. And now we get like this shape of a wing. And we can take the edge like this. And if we look at the reference again, and I just want to fit the shape of this wing, I can maybe in this case just pick those two edges and move them to the side. So no, those two. Anyway, you get the I hope you get the gist. Okay, so this helps with a teardrop shape. I can also just scale this on the Z to be 0, and then I get the shape. Maybe not 0. Okay, hope this helped you. Multis. So, Nightesh, have I tried multiplayer on Godot? No, not yet. But I heard it's not amazing, to be honest. Okay, so let's enable our reference and see that everything is still in place. And we were working on the wings. Let's name them appropriately. And let's enable them. Okay, let's go to solid view. So I think we are starting to get a general X-wing shape. We have the engine, we have the jet inside. We need to create some more details here on the front. So let's do it right now. So the X-wing itself seems to have, let's look at it again in our references, this distinct plus sign symbol. So let's try to create this one. So I think a good way of doing it, well, I'm really interested in creating multiplayer because I think everything is better if you have some healthy competition with someone else. So if you end up having any success, let me know. I would love to have some help with it. Okay, so select the wing, go to edit mode, and now we're going to go to press 3 to select the faces and do an inset. So now we can start working on it. And what would be the best way of doing it? So do I want to add an edge loop here and an edge loop here? I'm not sure because this simply adds so much details that are really just for the looks. So and I'm not sure I want to do it. And actually, before I even start with the inset and everything, what I really need to do is continue extruding because we haven't really finished the engine itself. So let's do it right now, extrude. And now we will start insetting. So inset slightly, extrude. And I think this last part is probably the dividers I was talking about before. Okay, so let's do it right now. Let's inset. Let's extrude on the Y and move inside. And now we want to create the dividers. So you, cutting a cylinder in half and then using the Boolean. That, yeah, that's a great idea. I think I'll just do it. That's so smart. So let's see if I remember how to use the Boolean operations correctly. So let's first of all we want this another cylinder. It's going to have 8 faces, and we want to rotate x90. Sorry, rotate x90. Great. Let's go to front view, scale it. Let's move it here. And now let's rotate to make it fit. And let's add this an edge loop here. Actually, I'm not sure that I can add edge loops to a cylinder like this. I need to add on both sides and then do cut with a knife, and then when I so this is going to be very annoying. Hmm. I'm having some heresy thoughts about just doing this, okay? So everybody here who's really good at modeling, please judge me quietly in your heart and not in the comments. I think what I'm going to end up doing is deleting this, adding a cube, scaling it. Let's go to front view, move it here to the center, scale X, scale Z, rotate maybe some more. And we can now move it on the Y. And this is extremely wasteful. Extremely wasteful. Uh, if I was trying to optimize this game for mobile or for anything, that would be, when you're doing something artistic, I think you can usually there are no mistakes, but this is definitely a mistake. So, but it's getting late here, and I need to finish this today. So let's do it. Dot G, extrude on the y-axis, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to press Control L to get the linked file. I'm going to scale along normals on the X, on the Z, sorry, just in general. Goodbye, Nitish. Thank you for stopping by. So let's continue, and again Control L to select everything linked to this. Go to front view, rotate Y, and moving it to the center. Now let's look from the side, and we are going to move it so it would be inside the engine. And yes, let's select this edge. Okay, so this looks okay. I think it's going to be enough for now. So let's enable the rest of the model just to see where we are. And what we are missing is the R2 unit at the back, and we're also missing the phasers at the edge of the wing. Great. So let's do it right now. So we want to hide anything that is not the wings. And we want the phasers. So let's select the wing. Go to edit mode, Shift A to add a cylinder. 8 vertices is good enough. Rotate around the X 90 degrees. Go to front view, scale it, move it to the correct location. And again, some more scaling. Let's rotate and move it so it's on the wing. Go to side view, move it where we want it to be. And I think what we are going to end up doing is model it on the blueprint and then moving it to the correct location. So let's do just that. Let's put it here. Extrude. Sorry. Select this loop. Extrude. Scale. Extrude. Extrude, right click, scale. Extrude. And we have the back part. We're going to do pretty much the same. Extrude. Oh, sorry. Select everything here, or maybe we have some duplicates. Let's just to be sure, remove some. Yes. So select this edge, extrude, extrude, right click, scale, extrude, extrude, right click, scale, extrude, and now we can inset and extrude, inset, and we can scale it slightly, extrude, and I'm not going to do all this details because it's such a small thing, and most of the players are not going to look at it. And extrude, sorry, extrude again, scale, extrude, right click, scale, extrude and scale. And now we need to create this half shape, and I'm pretty sure it's like this. Yeah, so it's like this half circle. I think it would be smart if we created it separately. So let's for now inset and extrude. Now go to solid view, object mode, enable all the rest, and we can look at the X-wing. And I think that the thing that really ruins it, for me at least, right now, is the canopy. Um, and maybe it's not the canopy by itself. Maybe it's something to do with this back part. It's really bland. It has nothing here, and I feel like there's need to be something here. So uh, in this image we have this weird, you know, futuristic details. So I don't think we are going to add those. We are going to have this R2 unit here, but maybe it should be higher or something. Let's try elevating the back slightly at least. Maybe look at some more references. So here it doesn't look like there's anything here. Also nothing. So yeah, maybe it's that's the way it's supposed to look. Maybe just some details, and if I'll add some details and some variation, it's going to look okay again. Interesting. Okay, let's do a very short uh, test, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to continue. So I want to select. Let's do C to circle select, and middle mouse to unselect, and I want to maybe take it up. Sorry, so let's select also these and deselect. Oh, deselect this. So up, and maybe scale it inwards slightly. And again, just those. Let's move them inside. Go to solid view and to object mode. I think it's better. Yeah, and the R2 is going to sit here. It might be better. We'll see. If you guys have any inputs, let me know. I would love to get a second opinion. You see, tell me it doesn't look weird. Honestly, it looks, I don't know, something about the top just doesn't register as an X-wing. Maybe it is the canopy. Maybe it's too streamlined. Maybe I need to make it higher. And maybe with texturing it would look better. Okay, let's finish this the detail at the edge of the phaser, and when we finish, we can start texturing and starting adding all the details, and maybe it's going to fix it. So let's select the wing, go to object mode, and what shape do we want to add that would do the trick? So we can have a cylinder. We can do like a cube. I think a cube. Yeah, let's do it with a cube. So I'm going to go to front view, scale it. I want it to be tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm going to edit and move it to the correct location. And wireframe mode, select scale on the Y to make it narrow, not too narrow. Move it here and scale Z. Excellent. Now I have a slight problem because I can't mirror. What I would like to do is mirror it again, but I can't. So we'll have to do with what we got. So let's do an extrude, rotate, and move it. Extrude, rotate. All this needs to go down, maybe slightly. This for sure needs to go down. Okay, that's not the worst. to do cursor to center. I always forget the. Thank you. Forget the keyboard shortcut to this. Okay, so I think in terms of basic shapes, we still need the R2 unit here, but I think we have an X-wing, so I think it's maybe too easy of a test because having an X-wing is just a matter of having wings in this shape, so you can't really go wrong with this. So I feel like maybe that's not the best test. So maybe we will try to fix this body and how it looks. I don't like the way the main body looks. So let's look at some references and maybe we'll try to understand what I dislike so much about it. And maybe the best way would be to look at the model from the same orientation I'm looking at it. So from the front, slightly to the side. So this is a good image for us. So it seems like I'm going too much down, maybe. Maybe that's the problem. Or at least from this image, it doesn't look like the X-wing is so much going down behind the canopy. Let's look at another one. Oh, that's one. That's a good one. So yeah, I think I'm going way too much down after the canopy. So what I mean by that is this belly is what I don't like my belly. Why should I give my X-wing this belly? So let's try and edit this out. Let's hide all the rest. And let's select everything here and just move it slightly up. Solid view. Let's watch the rest. I think it's better. I think for sure, at least from before. I don't know if it's more if it does more justice to how an X-wing should look like, but I think from before it's much better. Maybe this specific node needs to go slightly down to make this curve more natural. But yes, I think it's better. So now I don't like my canopy, so let's try and fix the canopy. So why I don't like the canopy? So the canopy is too flat, I think. Let's look at it for a second. I think it's too flat. I would want the back to curve up a little bit, and I would probably want, yeah, you see this and this on my model are practically the same width, and we want it to become slightly more narrow. So let's do it. So go to object mode, select the canopy, take this and move it inside slightly. So this was one problem I had. And oh, I tried to rotate this image. If only if I could do it. Yeah, we wanted the back part to go slightly more up. So let's go to wireframe mode. And let's select these nodes. And let's take them up into the back. Now go back to solid view because it has some pretty devastating potential. And yes, it did do something I didn't want. Let's go to wireframe mode again. Select just these two edges. Go to solid view and move them inside like this. And I think I like it better. And I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to take this up slightly. And I'm going to ever so slightly move the front to be again inside, just a little bit more narrow, and maybe this slightly up, not too much. Okay, so let's go to solid shading and let's look at it. And I think it's better. I think I'm going to stop now because I could probably do it for another 2 or 3 hours, but I really want to have time to work on the showcase scene in Godot. I have an HDRI sky and I have laser sounds and um, this space engine sound, and all of them is things I want to add today to this model. And I also, well, if you'll stick around, you'll probably see, but we have a lot of work to do. So I need to start texturing, and I'm going to do a bad job at texturing. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to texture this one like I did yesterday. So let's do something very simple. We'll simply color this red stripes here, and I'm going to color blue lines on the guns, and I think that's it. Nothing too fancy. Maybe create a transparent canopy, and after I create the transparent canopy, I might add some quote-unquote pilot inside. Okay, let's do it. It's not going to look good, okay, but hopefully it will look good enough. So let's start. We are going to do it. Am I just going to use a low poly? Will I just use the low poly material? Probably. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the X-Wing collection, and I'm going to call it X-Wing copy. And the reason is I'm going to do a lot of changes now, so I don't want by accident to destroy something I worked on for so long. And actually, I think in the reference images I have a lot of colors. Yeah, so I could probably really get away with a very simple um, low poly texture and just use gray, orange, and white, and it would probably be good enough. So let's do it. Oh, and I forgot the R2 unit, so let's edit quickly. So go to X-Wing, Shift A. It's gonna be a new object. It's going to be a cylinder. Scale it down. Side view. Move it up. Front view. Sorry. Move it to the back. Hide the rest, so I could see where it is. Yeah, it's in a good position. And now I'm going to add a UV sphere, and it's way too detailed. Let's do 8 by 4, scale it, and move it. Yep, and that's it. We have an R2. Let's look at just an image to see if we can add maybe some very few details. So R2D2. I think we can, if we just do this. Okay, let's try a different approach. Let's do this. Yes, and now we can color in the center. Let's do it for the rest here also. So I'm gonna circle select. Just need to be careful not selecting the triangle that we already did. And yep, I think that would for sure give us enough details to work with when we're texturing. Okay, let's enable the rest. So we have an X-wing, we have an R2. Let's take the R2 slightly back. Oh, I might have, yeah, okay. So sorry, let's join these and call it R2, and now move it together to the back. Okay, that's an okay X-wing. This is what we wanted. Now let's start working on our low poly material. So I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to call it low poly. And I'm going to, in base color, set to image texture. I'm going to open my low poly texture PNG, and I'm going to select everything here, and I'm going to join. Oh, sorry. Before I join, I need to first go to our modifiers and apply them. And if you just joined in, I have a copy here because we don't want our modifiers to be destructive. We want them at least to have a copy of the old thing if we need to change anything. Okay, so we have everything in enabled. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to move it. Let's hide the reference. I'm going to move it so that the tip of the nose is at the origin, and that I like to put the center of mass on the origin. And now I'm going to in global and in around the median point rotate on the Z180, and I'm going to now move it again so that the center of mass, let's see, the R2 probably is a good place to put it on the center. And I do it because after I export it to Godot, the camera is going to look at the origin, so we want it helps focus on the correct place. So now we can join them together by pressing Ctrl J, and we have the X-wing. And we go to our material, and we can start moving things around. So before I'll start, I press the spacebar and start typing smart UV project. I'm going to press OK with the default values. When we do a low poly material, it's not that important, but it does help a little bit. So let's go to UV editing, and this is our spaceship. So we can first of all select everything and select everything here. And for some reason I can't see. Okay, so let's remove the base color. So let's remove the base color. We just want the low poly. And now, yeah, we have everything correct base. So now I can scale everything to be tiny, tiny, tiny. And I can now just move it to the color we want. So we want the base color to be this white, maybe not full white. Let's look at how this looks shaded. I think that's a good white for us. And now we want to add from our reference images, we want this orange stripe on both sides. So let's do it right now. We can select, press 3 to face select, select these two lines, and maybe these two lines also, and the corresponding faces on the other side. And now I can simply hover over my image and press G to move them to an orange color, and you can see it changes. Okay, so that's good for now. Which other orange parts we have? So we have on the wing some orange. So let's do this right now. We can't get this amount of details because I think the wing itself is not as detailed. Yeah, you can see it's not. So what I might do, do I want to really try and fit this perfectly? First of all, why is this hovering? That is very, very bad for us right now, but I can probably, let's see if I can fix it. Okay, so it's supposed to be completely symmetrical. So if I can fit one to place, I can fit them all. So let's do scale Z and see if it's going to save the day. Yeah, it seems like I was able to fix it. So this is the reason why you keep a copy, but I really didn't want to start the entire, even though we didn't do a lot, but I didn't want to create the material again and do everything from the beginning. Okay, so let's do the R2 unit now. Let's select every second face, and let's do a blue R2. Yep. And let's add some more color to the R2. Maybe some lighter green. Okay, that's fine. Now I want to add there's a lot of gray along the engine. So let's try and do that. So I want this to be gray. So let's select this and press Control plus. Maybe not Control, maybe just, I want just this one. No. Okay, so we'll have to manually select it. But actually that would be horrible. So I might not do it. Just a second. Yeah, so I think this is good enough for now. Sorry, I was talking to myself for like probably 10 minutes because uh, the microphone was muted. So I think this is going to be good enough for us. Okay, so it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good enough for this challenge of creating one model a day. Okay, so let's export it and start working on the Godot game engine to create the space showcase scene with all the laser sounds and the targets and everything. So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go to export as GLTF2. And I'm going to go to my P51 because I can now go up, create a new folder, call it X wing, include only the selected object and custom properties, and select the folder I just created, and we're going to call this X-Wing. Export. Save the project just in case. And now we have the model ready. Let's start working on our Godot scene. So let's go to Godot. Go dogfight. And this scene here is me. I'm running a lot. I mean, like many hours and white hairs. I'm getting from trying to find an efficient, good workflow of creating levels for Godot 3D games. And I'm experimenting with a lot of third-party tools, and I really want to keep them free, restrain myself to free software because, as the channel name suggests, I'm aiming towards indie developers. But it's really hard creating levels with Godot. Um, and when I say hard, I'm not. I don't mean uh, it's something technical or artistic. The workflow is pretty hard currently. There are no good tools for creating levels in Godot, at least in my opinion. If you guys know anything that uh, a good a good workflow for creating levels, or you can point me at the correct direction, I would love to hear your suggestions. Okay, so enough talk. Let's go to source. Let's create a new folder. I'm going to call it space showcase. Great. Let's close this scene, create a new one. Let's go to world. Let's create a new environment. It's a new environment. The background is going to be sky, new panorama sky, and I created, to open it probably, this space demo folder. So let's copy it. Open. Let's open directly the assets library. Paste it. I'm gonna get the export inside. Let's go to a panorama. And let's drag in from our space demo the space HDR. Okay, so that's a really nice HDR. I might say people are making such amazing things for free. Every time I find these types of things that people are released with, an open source license, you can use it in any project. It's amazing. It's amazing what people do to help each other. So this is a very nice, in my opinion, HDR. I think we can add this directional light coming from here, and we will get some nice results. So let's put just a placeholder meshes. Let's do this mesh. Let's make it plain. And you can see it's black, or currently it's black, because the only light we're getting is the sky contribution. Let's call it ground. Add another one. It's going to be a cube. Let's make it smaller, or maybe make our ground larger. Okay, even larger. Let's do it 10 by 10. Great. Okay, so you can see we get some green light from the sky, but mainly we get nothing. So let's add some very weak light coming from this direction. And the way we can do it is I want the directional light to be here, so I'm going to my world environment, because I want everything to be uh, grouped well together. I'm going to add a directional light, and I'm going to move it so that it's between me and where I want the light to come from. And you can see that I have the arrow is made of four or this plus this one horizontal and one vertical planes. And when I look, I put the light where I want it to be. I want to create a cross. So let's select the directional light. Let's go to our transform. You can see I need to rotate along the y-axis, so let's do it. You can see slightly by moving it like this, I get this cross. Maybe I need to rotate up a little bit, so I think it's the X. Yes. And now I get this perfect cross. And you need to make sure that the arrow is pointing to the correct direction, because from the other side you will also get a cross. You can get the cross right from here. So this is a way too strong of a light. So I'm going to go to this light and I'm going to reduce the energy to something more appropriate. Even less. Okay. Now just for some experimentation, let's bring our X-wing here and see how it looks. So you can see we don't get any colors, almost no colors. Let's rotate it just so we can. Okay, so yeah, I think we can safely increase the strength of the light. And probably we will need to add some more lighting to the scene. Otherwise it's going to look very dark, too dark. Well, space is dark, but we might need something more interesting for our player to look at. I think what I'll end up doing is I'm going to create the targets with some emission. So when we go by them, they're going to light the spaceship a little bit. We can play around with it. We'll see how it looks. And I will probably make the bullets also shiny. So because clearly we need some more lighting here. Okay. Let's in our world environment. I can also try and play with the ambient light slightly. Let's do it. I think it's maybe too much, because the only emitting, you can see this part of space is almost completely black. Maybe this red nebula, but no contribution is going to come from here. So I'm afraid that if I'll increase the sky contribution too much, I'm just going to get a very green spaceship. Okay, that's not horrible. That I think it looks okay. Does it? Does this look fine? Chat, do you think it looks better like this? Or do I need more lights? What do you think? Let me know. I think I'm going to keep it for now. I'm going to take the directional light. I'm going to put it somewhere I'm never going to see it again. Great. And now I'm going to delete, maybe not the X-Wing itself, but we're going to delete most of it. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a script that is going to, maybe, let's see, if I have some default target here, I might just use a default target for now. But I'm going to, the main thing I'm going to write right now is something that spawns targets in space in some varying distance from one another. So let's do this. Let's see if in my sources do I have a target scene. So I have the explosion. I can probably very quickly with an explosion create a target. So let's do it. First of all, let's save this. In sources, we are creating the space. Space. Whoa, where are you, space? Showcase, here you are. And we're going to call it main scene. We are going to go to our space showcase and we're going to make the scene main scene, and we need to add a mouse flight controller. We might, yeah, let's delete this X-Wing. Let's create a new scene. Wait, not like this. Let's go to our planes. And let's go to our force plane, I think, yes. And we have force place controller scene. Yes. And let's close it. Let's create a new inherited scene. And we'll go to a 3D, we go to visualizer, we are going to add the X-Wing. And we are going to save it. Let's change the name to X-Wing. And we are in space showcase, that's true. Let's go to our main scene. Let's add our X-Wing scene. And we are going to assign this X-Wing to the camera. And just by doing this, I can already run. And we get an X-Wing flying in space, sounding like a Cessna, which is, at least I think it's funny. I hope you guys think it's funny also. And firing this machine. Okay, so I know from yesterday that the engine sound is usually too strong, so I'm going to decrease the sounds from my computer. If you stop hearing things, let me know, because we are going to play with sound a little bit and I will need your inputs. So let's run it again. So let's run it again. Great. Okay. So this looks fine. We need to add to our showcase main function. We need to add some things to our ready function. So first of all, I want input.set mouse mode input mouse mode captured. Oh, maybe not captured. We want it to be hidden. Yes, and we want OS window full screen equals true. Run again just to make sure it has the desired effect. Yeah, we're working in full screen. And we can't see the mouse anymore. So let's go to our X-Wing scene and let's start with changing the engine sound because it's unacceptable for an X-Wing to have the sound of a Cessna. So let's go to our space demo and I have this space engine scene sound and let's play it and see what we think. Okay, it doesn't sound at all like an engine. I thought it would be more of an engine sound, but I think it gives this ambient, I'm in space sound. So I think we're going to stick with it. One thing we need to change is we need to go to our import tab and mark it to be looping and re-import it. And now when we play, yes, hopefully we're going to hear. Oh, it's not as seamless as I would like it to be. We can go to Audacity at the end and try to make it loop more seamlessly. But I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this. Let's take the laser sound and go to import and set it to looping as well. And we are going to change the gun sound to the laser and run it again. And okay, so these two sounds are forcing my hand and we need to boot up Audacity. And we'll go to our assets, space demo, and we have laser. So laser, yeah, you can see we have way too much dead sounds. So let's see if we can cut it short. Okay. Maybe slightly more. Let's try. It's too fast for me. Okay, that's good enough. Let's export. Selected audio, and we're going to go to. Let's do it on the other monitor. You don't need to know how I save my files. It's like showing someone your room before you clean up. That's a big no-no. Maybe it's just me. I'm just realizing maybe all of you are just extremely clean people and you have no problem showing your room to anyone. So go dogfight, assets, music. No, it's not music. It's in space demo and we're going to call it laser short. And export. That's great. Back to Godot. And now we have laser short. Replace it again. Let's try it again. Oh, we need to set the new one to looping, and hopefully it wouldn't be as low fire rate as the last one was. Okay, I think I like the fire rate a lot, and what we can do is if I'll set some delay between the guns, this fire like this, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right, something like this, pop 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 pop. So and with this fire rate, it will look, I think, hopefully, nicely. So let's try. Let's see if it's working. So we have our X-Wing, we have our gun. I think I'm going to create a new bullet, to fit our space type of game. So let's go to our space showcase. We'll open a new scene. It's going to be bullet. This is my custom bullet. If you're interested, I have a video on my channel showing how to use this. So let's give it some long lifetime. We don't want any gravity. We don't want any friction. Yes, so that's it. I'm pretty sure I need to add this bullet to a specific group. And let's see, it's going to be in our machine gun 810 bullet. And let's look at the group player bullets. Player bullets, okay. Player bullets, fine. So I can close this one. And we're going to call it laser bullet. And let's start creating it. So I'm going to add a mesh instance. And it's going to be a cylinder or a capsule, sorry. It's going to be very narrow and very long. Or is it long enough? Maybe if I do, yeah, that's nice. I like it. Okay, so I want it to be a laser, so I'm going to add a material and it's going to be yellow. And we want to have some emission because it's a laser, and it's also going to be yellow. And I want it to be, very strong yellow. Okay, I think that's it for now. Yeah, probably. I think if I'll enable bloom, it's going to look very nice. Maybe 0.5. I want it to be a bulky bullet. So I want, it to look and feel significant. Okay, so we have the bullet. We are going to add a collision shape, and that's a quick tip. I don't know if any of you ever used bullets as rigid bodies as bullets, but if you set the speed too high, what might happen, and a good you can see it if you create a particle effect and you're moving it very fast at a constant speed, you'll see that sometimes you get between 2 points of emission, there's a space, and this is caused because of the physics process happening every set amount of time. So if you use a bullet as a physics, if you use a rigid body as a bullet, you might get that the bullet between physics update moved too much and went beyond your target. So a quick solution for this, a quick and dirty, if I might say, is make your collision shape very long, and that's it. Your bullet is going to hit the target slightly before the actual model is going to hit the target, but this is going to ensure that you are not going to miss it. So if you don't want the early hitting, you can move it slightly to the back. But because it's so long, there's a very, unless you use some extreme speed, you are not going to miss your target because of physics processes um, happening too slowly with respect to your rigid body speed. So that's it. I think that might be a slight overkill, but you know what? It is slight overkill. I'm going to make it shorter. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we have a laser bullet. Let's save it. Let's go to our X-Wing gun and let's switch from the A10 bullet to our laser bullet. What color is the X-Wing laser? Let's check for a second. X-Wing laser. So is it green? Is it always green? Any Star Wars fan here, maybe, by any chance? Is the X-Wing lasers green always? No, here they are red. I also remember red. Okay, I think I'm going to do them. I think I'm going to have the laser bullet be red. Red, orange. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, fine. I'm okay with this. Let's run our scene one more time. Let's look at the current results. So we're obviously not synchronized. What is happening here right now? Oh, I'm probably upside down. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. It's too big. It's not emitting as much. I probably need to push the bloom up a little bit. And the sound is horrible. Okay, let's start one by one. Slowly but surely. So let's go to our main scene. Let's go to world environment. And let's ambient light. We want glow. And we're going to set it to, and we're going to use some bloom. And let's try it right now. Yeah, so the bloom looks better. I think we can crank it up some more. So yeah, but it is too big. It is too chunky. Let's decrease the size. That's good. That's good. Okay, so what I want to do now is what I talked about, the synchronization. Let's shut down this gun. Okay, now I left click, nothing happens, which is what we wanted. And let's create the X-Wing guns. So let's set the spatial material. Spatial. Call it guns. The script to guns. Delete everything for now. Let's go back to our 3D scene. Let's start adding some guns. So gun. Let's call it top left, and it is going to sit at the top left gun. Let's duplicate top right, and duplicate both and push them down. Let's see that we're good. Are we good? No, slightly up. Are we good? Let me know. Yes. Okay, so this is bottom left, and this is bottom right, and we have some gun script, and we are going to override the input function. And if event dot is action pressed left mouse button. So what do we want? What do we want? Okay, if you don't know what you want, you can't code it. So we want to have this index here, var gun index. Okay, and it's going to be an integer, and it's going to be 0. And we want a variable for delay time. Let's make it more. So it's going to be fire delay time. It's going to be a float. Let's set it for half a second right now. And let's say I'm going to try to avoid using a timer. So I'm going to say variable last shot int no, so it's not last shot. That elapsed. We'll call it elapsed int. Great. And we want some automatic fire, so we are going to do it like this. We're going to func process elapsed plus gets delta. And if event dot is action pressed, is action, sorry, not pressed, released, left mouse button. So we're going to create the following functions. Function for fire, which is going to be void, and function for stop fire, and again it's going to be void. And we are going to create another variable called is firing. It's going to be a boolean. It's going to be initialized to be false. And in our process function, if firing and elapsed is greater than or equal to fire delay time, then fire delay time is equal to 0. And get child gun index dot fire. I'm pretty sure that we have these guns. Let's look at, I'm pretty sure that the function I'm looking for is fire. Open fire. Yes, open fire. And do I need to send anything to open fire? No, nothing. Great. So we open fire with a certain gun, and I'm going to have an onReady var num guns going to be equal to get child count. And now after I fired, I'm going to take the gun index is going to be equal to gun index plus 1 modulo max, sorry, num guns. And this is going to go in order over our guns, and every time fire a different one. Okay, so now we just need to make these guns do what we want. So auto fire, no. Listen to input, no. Bullet res is going to be our laser bullet. Muzzle velocity, let's say, I don't know, 60? 80? Yeah, sounds about right. Fire rate, doesn't really matter. Wait for sound, no. Fire sound, now what we can do is go to our space demo, go to our laser short, and disable looping and re-import. And each of those guns is not automatic fire gun, so this time we don't get this sound cutoff from the gun, which is very good for us. So now let's go to this gun, sorry, to all of those guns. Great. And we're going to set the fire sound to laser short. And now, because it's pretty late and I'm not very focused, I can't think of something that should make this not work, but let's just run and see. So, oh, yeah, of course. So the fire is simply going to set elapsed. So no, let's just say fire is firing. Sorry, is firing equal true, and is firing equal false. And here we want to fire, and here we want to stop fire. Now maybe it should work. Let's see. Again, I get nothing. So let's start debugging this. So is this being called? Yes. So we are setting is firing to be true. And elapsed plus get delta. So if is firing is true and elapsed is greater than fire delay time. So let's see if we ever get here. So that's a no. We never get here. I would like then to print out elapsed, just to make sure. And let's just for good measure also print fire delay. And we can see that we are always 0. Is elapsed int? Yes, elapsed is int. Now I'm pretty sure that it's going to work. Yes, we got it. Great. So this might have been due to okay, so this is not acting as I expect it to be. So let's, oh, I set fire delay time to 0. That's what happened when you try coding very tired. No, we don't want fire delay time to be 0, we want elapsed. Why don't you like auto-completing elapsed? Okay, let's try now. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, it's working, which is great. It didn't stop because, of course, I just copied and pasted and didn't bother changing is firing to false. I pretty like the effect. I think it's too slow. Let's double the fire rate. Tell me this is not cool, guys. Come on. Be honest. This is so cool. Oh, I think there's no better feeling than, tweaking with something for such a long time, and it's giving you something nice to look at. So I quite like this effect. I think I can. The only way I can make it better is if I try and make the X-wing wings fold, but just I started saying it, and in my head I already know I'm not going to do it. It's going to be way too much job and work, and it's starting to be pretty late where I live. Okay, so we are going to be happy with our current X-wing, and we are going to continue to our next task, which is going to be adding a lot of targets, floating targets. So let's do it. Do this. We are going to add a spatial node. We're going to call it target spawner. We're going to create a new scene. We are going to call it target. And just for now, we're going to handle first the spawning functionality. After we'll finish looking at the spawning functionality, we're going to look at the target functionality. So let's do that. So just so we have something to look at, I'm going to add this visualizer. And I'm going to add a mesh instance. It's going to be a cube. I'm going to rotate 45 degrees, 45 degrees. We're having a standing cube. That's it for now. Nothing more. And we are going to handle all the target looks and everything else in just a second. Let's save it. I'm going to call it space target. We are working in space. So let's go to our target spawner, add a new script. Let's have some export parameters. We have export var radius. We float. I'm going to initialize it to be, let's say, 100. Export var height float. Initialize it to be like, I don't know, the range. Let's say 50. 50 sounds like a nice range for height. Let's do a variable target resource. Going to be a packed scene. It's going to be a preloaded space target. And I'm going to add another export variable, and I'm going to call it a divider. And it's going to be also a float. And it's going to be, let's say, 1. What the divider is going to do is let us know to how many chunks divide our spawning area. So if I press, let's say here, 1/2, we're going to have 200 targets in the width and 100 in the height. And if I press, if I say 1, it's going to be 150, and if I say 2, it's going to be 50 and 25, etc., etc. Let's start with 1 and see how this works. So we're going to go in func ready, and we're going to go for I in range negative radius up until radius, and let's do +1. Okay, it's going to make it so we have 2 times the radius +1 targets, and it's going to have 2 times the height +1 targets in the vertical axes. But that's okay. For j in range negative height and height, we're going to do the following. So for each block, so it's going to work like this. I'm trying to think, do I have enough information? No, I need to add another one. So for j in range negative radius to radius +1, and now I'm going to shift all this and say k here. So let's say the origin x is going to be I plus, you know what, I'm going to ditch this divider. X equals I plus the random float, and I'm pretty sure randf is between -1 and 1, so let's test this in the documentation. So randf returns a random, no, between 0 and 1. That's good enough that's good for us. So x plus randf var y equals j plus randf, and variable z, oh, that's supposed to be z, that's supposed to be y. It's going to be equal to k plus rand f. And what I am going to add is scale, if by any chance this is going to spawn the targets too close to each other, we can scale it up a little bit. So let's say scale is taken, so let's say spawn scale. I don't know, that's such a bad name, but I'm starting to get tired. And let's simply multiply by spawn scale. And before I do this to all the rest, let's brainstorm for a second. What are we going to get? So I plus rand f is in range negative r to r, and rand f is going to give us, when I multiply in spawn scale, a value between 0 and spawn scale. So is this what I want? Yes. Pretty sure it is. Okay. No, not plus, multiply. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now to spawn a new target. So var new target. And if, guys, help me here, if you see any errors or you are understanding what I'm trying to do and think I'm doing it wrong, let me know. Let me know, save me the pain. New target is equal to target resource dot instance and new target dot global transform equal vector3 x y z add child new target. So that's it. I'm pretty sure it's going to do what I want. Let's press F5 and find out that it doesn't. So, oh yeah, of course. Global transform dot origin. Okay, so we have a lot of errors. Is inside tree returned? Okay, so we need to change the order. Are you angry because I gave you too much target to spawn? Come on, I know you can do it. Ooh-wee. Well, that's too too much targets. What's going on, my friend? Well, obviously I did something horribly, horribly wrong. Look at all this. It looks like a procedural cloud. Okay, let's see. Why are you spawning so much targets? So we have radius, which is 50. So I would expect you to give me 100 by 100 by 40. So how much is it? Oh, sorry, 50 by 50 by 20. No, it says 100 by 100. No, stop it. 100 times. What? Stop it. Thank you. 100 times 100 times 40. 40,000 400,000 cubes. Yeah, that's too much, obviously. But why? Okay, of course, let's, sorry, computer, you are right. As always, I'm the problem. Okay, so now we have a reasonable amount of targets, but they are grouped together too much. So let's increase the scale. Let's say by 10. Ooh, that's so much better. Hello, cubes. Yes. Okay, more. Scale more. Bigger. Let's say 25. Let's say 8. And let's keep it to 4. Ooh, I like it. I like it. This is what I wanted from the beginning. The sound of the engine is driving me nuts. It's so bad. More. 50. Yes. Yes, that's it. That's what I wanted. Ooh, that's juicy. I like it so much. I can already feel it's going to be nice. I can feel it. So yeah, I think we can allow our user to shoot slightly faster. That's nothing is going to happen. Unless we are going to have more fun. That's the only effect it's going to have. Ooh, nice. Okay, so now we can't really finish the sound. I'm thinking maybe it's actually a problem with my gun script, my general gun script. Let's see if I need to change it. So open fire. Did I mark it as wait for sound? No, I didn't. Okay. So open fire. When did I? If not, fire sound player is playing. Interesting. So what I might want to do is press Control K, this, maybe on everything, just for a second. See how it will react. So fire sound player dot stop fire sound player dot play. How about now? How will you behave now, my friend? Yes. Juicy. I love it. I love it. Woo. Great. Okay. So now what we want to do, let's close this. Let's go to our target. Now let's work on this, on my space target. So is it big enough? I think we can do with a little bigger. Let's do bigger. So 3 by 3 by 3. Let's see. Yes, that's good. Woo, love it. Okay, so it is big enough. Let's go to our target. Let's create a new script. Let's cache the visualizer. So on ready var visualizer is equal to visualizer. And in my physics process, visualizer dot rotation degrees in the y-axis plus gets delta times, let's say 30. Yeah, I think 30 always is a good value. And we want var for elapsed time, which is a float equaling 0. And we are going to do elapsed time plus gets delta and visualizer dot global transform dot not global transform dot origin y equals sine of elapsed. Jesus, come on, I can't spell, I need your help. Editor, elapsed time times pi times half. Now it should move up and down. Rotate. Yeah. And it's way too uniform, so what we are going to do right now is going to go to our main scene and to our target spawner, and whenever we spawn a new instant and edit, we say new target dot rotation in the y-axis equal random range of 0 to pi. Run it again, hopefully. Yeah, the cubes are much less uniform right now, which is exactly what we want. Go 8. Now, what we need, what we want, what do we want now? So we have the X-Wing. Oh, yeah, we need to finish the target. Well, my concentration is dropping by the second. Okay, so I'm going to switch the target to be an area. And I'm going to add a collision shape. And it's going to be a capsule shape. And we are going to need to make it larger and bigger because our target is moving up and down. And just for debugging purposes, let's add a camera. And if any of you watched my series about the Godot fight, this is pretty much a one by one. I did the exact same thing for the targets there. Nice, nice. Don't think half because they are so big, so maybe 0.75, that would be better. Sorry, no, don't do it. Stop. That's better. Target, I want you to rotate faster. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now add, let's add a material. Spatial material. I want the targets to shine because, as I said in the beginning, I don't think we have enough light in our scene. So let's add this orange glow, green glow. I think the bad guys in Star Wars, everything is green. Is it? No, it's the opposite. Then why does the X-Wing laser is red? I'm so confused right now. Okay, so yeah, yellow, green, red, blue, purple. Oh, purple. That's it. That's the color. spacey, purpley. If I had more time, and I might think of doing some random colors, but not now. I like this a lot. I think maybe it's too purple, even though I like purple. Lord, no, I like purple. Lord knows. Yeah. Maybe weaker. Yes. And I can probably go to my world environment and kick the bloom up a notch. I don't care. I want everything to be shiny. Stop. Stop. No visible collision shapes. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, I like it. Less targets, I think. 5 by 5 by 2, that's 25, that's 50 target. That's, yeah, for sure. That's enough. And spawn scale, let's do it something like, oh, 50? Was it? No, let's do 75. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah. It's not as full of targets, but that's good. Yes. Oh my god, I started humming the Imperial March, but and then I immediately thought, oh my god, I'm gonna get demonetized. But then I remembered I don't make any money from this, so I can hum whatever I want. Okay, so we have that target. It looks fine. Let's now handle collisions. So go to our target, go to our signals, and we want. I think my bullet is a body. So yeah, body shape entered. Body entered. That's it. And we can say if body is in group player bullets, then we want to call the function hit, and we're going to have a function for a variable for life. It's going to be an integer. Let's say set it to like 5, and let's have a function called hit. It's going to return nothing. We are going to take our life and going to remove 1 from it, and if life equals less than or equals 0, sorry, we're going to call a function called explode. Let's implement explode. Again, return nothing. And yeah, we need some stuff for it to happen, but we can start with visualizer hide collision shape disabled true, and we can add an explosion right now. So let's do it. Explosion. I'm wondering which explosion is it. Ooh, that's the beautiful one. That's great. Let's see. Let's see how is it going to look. It's interesting. Okay, And it's called explode, right? Yes. Okay. So let's go back to our target. We're going to get our explosion, and we are going to explosion, explode. And we are going to take the body, and we are going to queue free it. Let's try, see what happens. Woo-wee. That's nice. Yes, thank you. Bam. Boom. So it's exploding. I want the explosion to be bigger. So let's scale it by 3. Bigger explosion, please. Thank you. Bam. Boom. Bigger. Yes. Yes, exactly. And now sounds. We need some juicy explosion sound. Let's do an audio stream player. No 2D. No, no, no. We want audio stream player, the regular one, because we want to hear it from everywhere. So let's do explosion sound, and we are going to choose from our assets, from our music folder. We're supposed to have an explosion. Let's see, it's not looping by mistake, and it's not. Let's edit. And now for the moment of truth. Explosion sound dot play. And is it satisfying? Let's see. First of all, the flight is fun. That's a given. Now let's do it. Woo. Louder. No, that's supposed to be way, way, way louder. We want the explosion to be, I want to feel it. So let's do like plus 10. Sorry, 10. Interesting. I think the firing sound. By the way, can you hear anything at all? If any of you are listening, if you can't hear the computer, let me know, because I really want to hear your input. Can you hear me at all? Sound. Yep. A-O-O. Maybe just slightly. A. Yes. Supposed to work. Oh, thanks. So I think I need to reduce the gun sound. Do I have it open in Audacity? Yes. So let's decrease the sound. No, not playback speed. Can we make it less loud? Effect. No. Nah. Laser short import. Can I decrease the sound here? Nope. That's fine. I'll just go to the space target and make the explosion even stronger. It's probably the right call anyway. Ooh, yes. Yes. Thank you. I could probably play it for hours right now. My brain is so numb. Anything that is slightly distracting, I immediately drown in. So I need to be careful, not ending up playing this instead of finishing. Yes. Okay, what else? What else? I think for the demo itself, I think I'm pretty much done. I might try and create some effect for the jet engine. So it wouldn't be a jet. I think like an ion, something like this. Let's try. Let's try. And what would be the best way of doing it? Maybe I have some thoughts. Let's try. So we want so particle effect, so particles. Let's do like 30. Let's give them some very short time. Let's do draw passes, and it's going to be a quad. With some particle material, no gravity, which is so weird that the default is gravity down. Why is this the default? I don't think I ever left gravity. Emission shape is going to be a box, a very narrow box, and a long one. So 0.1, 0.1, and yes. Do I need to make it even thinner? We'll see in a second. The direction should be 0, 0, 1. And the initial velocity. No, you know what? I'm changing my mind, I think, a little bit. Let's make it even. Yeah, so it's like in a straight line. Let's do like 100. Okay. Let's change the scale over time. We want it to decrease in size as time passes, but then I run into the problem that I don't know where it starts. So I might need to change the emission shape, which is going to be a bummer. And initial velocity is going to be, let's say, 5. So we get this sort of engine. Okay. It's not horrible. Let's do left linear and right linear. And yeah, go to 0, but I want them to have a longer lifetime. Let's see. Have a second. Is this what I want? No, too much. And no, don't go to 0. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you are still interested, but it seems like I can control, the jet look with this parameter. So we can make it look like a stronger and weaker jet, which is pretty cool. We can do with less particles, and I think I want the lifetime to be shorter. Yes. Now let's jump to affinity. And create a new 512 by 512 document. Go to document setting. No, you know what? I can do a black background like this. And I'm going to take special shape donut, make it narrow, scale it even more narrow, and color it white. I'm going to go to functions, blur slightly, close it, export it. I'm going to call it jet particle. And now when I go back to Godot, I can go to my draw passes, to the material, new spatial material. We're gonna allow transparent, unshaded, uses albedo, blend mode ed. Albedo is going to be jet particle. And you can see the effect I'm going for. Now when I look at it, I'm not sure that maybe I do need more. And maybe I do want the scale to be lower towards the end. And now I can add this color. Hey, Multis, glad I can help. You help me a lot with your company, my friend. Okay, so now let's go to color and let's do some gradient. And yes, I like that it fades in and out, so let's do another black here. And in the middle, how do we feel like, well, what color do we feel like this engine should be? I think maybe blue. Ooh, ooh, nice. Jesus, I did not expect this to turn up so well, so fast. It's by no means, ready for production or anything, but juicy. I like it. It looks nice. Okay, so I'm gonna call this jet. And yeah, I think for now, maybe slightly more. Yeah, no, yeah. No, I like the blue. It felt good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so we have this jet. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go to our X-Wing. We're going to add another spatial so everything is nice and neat. I'm going to call it jets. You're going to add one. Ooh, not that one. That's the old ugly one. So we want, where are you? Space showcase. Jet, this is the jet we want. Now we're going to scale it and move it to the appropriate location. And I hope, no, you know what? I think I'm not using local. I'm using local coordinates, so no problems here. Sorry about that. I had my wife come in, and she just had a haircut, and it looks amazing. Just so you know. That's great. So let's play. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice effect. I like it. I think we can make it more pronounced. We probably should. Let's look at it from the side. It's probably going to disappear. Yeah, it's disappearing. And from the other side, you don't see anything. So let's fix it. Let's go to our jet, and I want it to. Thank you, multis. Let's how can you make it better? Let's do some more particles. Let's give it some more lifetime, and let's do a different scaling. I don't think I like it exactly like this. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I simply don't like it like this. How can you make it better? Maybe at another point here, and no, not exactly like this, but yeah, I think it's, yes, maybe like this. Is this better? I think it's better. Now I just want to be able to look at this quad from both sides. So let's go to my material, flags, and yeah, this is something I never done. So if anyone watching here know how to make it be visible from both sides, let me know. Parameters. So cool mode disabled. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let's try. That's a nice attention. So it does disappear when I'm looking at it exactly from the side, which is completely understandable. But it's not bad. Nice. I'm going to tweak the performance. It's too static. You know what? I know what I don't like about it. It's too static. When when we're looking at this here, it's good. I like it that it's static, but I don't like it when it's in the game. It doesn't react to anything. So we can go to drawing, and I'm pretty afraid to uncheck this check mark because it might do bad things. Let's watch and see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so now, yeah, what's happening is that it moves too fast. You can see this stretching. So we need to do something about that. And what we can do is go to our process material, and we are going to go to our emission shape, and instead of point we're going to do box again, and it's not that big of a box, but yeah, that might do the trick. Let's try. It's too big, and we are okay. So I think we are just going to go back to point and deselect the local coordinates because I can't really think of a good solution for it right now, and I'm starting to be too tired to think of something good enough to do right now. It's not a matter of the lifetime because what happens is, you know what, maybe the lifetime can do it. The other problem with is that when I uncheck local coordinates, it stopped using the scale of the parent. So I need to change, if I ever need to change the size of the jet, I need to manually go to the parent scene and change it. But I'm starting to like this too much. So maybe, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So uncheck local coordinates, decrease the lifetime, uh, increase number of yeah, let's do slightly more. And is this it? Oh no, I wanted to make it smaller. So let's go to draw passes and make it half the size. And now let's run it. thank you. It was disconnected for a second there. I have like a timer because it's Bluetooth headset, but I don't seem to know when it's going to stop playing and when it's going to continue. Okay, anyway, I think that's it for today. I have the model, I have the showcase scene, and now I still have like half an hour of recording some test footage and uploading the video. So I think that's going to be it for me for today. So thank you very much for you guys for giving me some company during this very long live stream. It's so much more fun doing it with you guys watching. So again, thank you. And I'm pretty sure I won't be able to do this tomorrow, the stream, but um, on wait, tomorrow is Monday. No, so I can I'll probably do we'll do a stream tomorrow, but on Thursday no stream, and on Wednesday another one. Thursday is I have a meeting at the evening. Okay, so thank you guys. See you next time, and goodbye.